But the day that Blake was born, I actually did not go into labor with her. I went to the hospital at 23 weeks and 6 days for right upper quadrant pain. And 8 hours later, I had developed something called HELP syndrome, which is a severe form of preeclampsia. And the only cure is delivery. And I was in liver failure secondary to the HELP syndrome. So I had an emergency C-section.
So their emotion, their anxiety, their fear was high, and I stood there and talked to them, what is having a baby so premature. The conversation also include the risk of mortality, several of the difficult diagnoses that babies encounter at this age, and the survival rate.
Blake weighed 15 ounces and she was 11 inches long.
Having a breathing tube, having a medication that helped those lungs expand. Those are things that a baby born at her age are not expected to do. She's supposed to still be in her mama and continue the pregnancy for at least another 12, 14 weeks, and she's not.
Blake was in the NICU at Memorial for a total of 127 days. While she was there, she had multiple complications.
She ended up having to undergo a surgery, and her parents were able to always be there for her before, after, during, and we were able to, with that, also continue to support them, explain what was going on, and have a more direct communication that sometimes it gets difficult if the distances are far away.
She also had 3 eye surgeries, and she had multiple central lines, wasn't able to eat for 3 months. So she had nutrition being solely received through her IV. She had a feeding tube in her stomach. The Ronald McDonald, I don't even think the word important is enough to justify how amazing the Ronald McDonald House was for us. I'd heard of the Ronald McDonald House before, but when I was in the hospital for a couple of weeks after delivering Blake, and so for a couple of weeks I was right down the hall from her in the NICU. Well, when it came time for me to be discharged, I was kind of just in a panic. I just did not want to be far away from her.
The Ronald McDonald House gave me and her something that I could never repay them for, is with the other moms. They were able to make that connection of being able to talk to each other about what was going through each other's minds. And with that, they just were able to make that connection. And we're very good friends with them to this day, yeah. And we'll never lose that.
Kevin and Laura, right from the start, were just an amazing family to have at the house. They were so upbeat with all the chaos going around them that you wouldn't know what was going on outside of these doors when they were staying here, which is what we hope to do for our families.
And it also allowed me to build amazing relationships with the other NICU moms that were in the Ronald McDonald House, which I think was the only thing that helped me keep my sanity going through all of this, because you have a bond with people who truly understand what you're going through, and you're all going through it together.
Being here on campus, we are 176 steps from the front doors of Children's Hospital. For a family going through the most critical times in their lives, those 176 steps are just a short journey to be back and forth for their child at a moment's notice.
The Ronald McDonald House just solved everything. Baby Blake is doing fantastic. She's actually right on par with all other babies.
She is very resilient and adapts super well to all the challenges that are thrown at her.
Even the NICU nurses that took care of her, we've actually had them take care of her. You know, they wanted to see her afterwards. And they all say how much of a happy baby she was. Even during the surgeries or after, she would still give us smiles, letting us know that everything's okay. You know, like, we would not be here today if it wasn't for the Ronald McDonald House. And it wouldn't be for people's kindness for donating at the Ronald McDonald House.